Okay, let's take a look at this. I don't need this one on here. So, prediction videos are all done, and there's something interesting that took place. Now, the predictions of the channel are here, and I'll analyze the channel's predictions further. A subscriber put them together nicely into some charts and some fun stuff that we can get into while we're getting towards the season. But what's funny to me is this. If you look, teams that were in the top four, people are picking them to be top four. Bottom four, still top bottom four. Top four in this division, the only difference is St. Louis moving in. Minnesota's the sexy one to move out. Top four in this division, it stays in the exact same order. And the only switch seems to be that the Rangers actually finished below the Islanders this past season. So the numbers, this is where the teams finished. Vancouver actually ended up ahead of Arizona, but everybody's picking Arizona ahead of Vancouver. Excuse me. My picks, I had Calgary here, Edmonton here, Anaheim in sixth. They were picked to finish fourth by the channel, and they were second overall. So it's going to be an even number all around, right? The ones that interest me, though, it's the East. And it's the idea that the balance of power won't shift at all. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to be exactly the same in the Metro. And the weird thing is, the Metro was pretty close all year until the end when there was some spread out between first and eighth. But through the first half of the year, there was very little choice between number 1 and number 8 in the division. They were pretty darn close. Now, when you look at the Atlantic, again, you got 1, 2, 3. People are predicting Toronto to finish second. They were third this past year. But again, you got Florida in fourth. Buffalo, who was eighth, is being favored to go to fifth. I have them at seventh because I still think Detroit finishes sixth, which everybody agrees with. They were fifth last season. The channel has Montreal in seventh after they were sixth this past season. I have them in fifth. But the channel's prediction and mine are close because you'll see 1, 2, 3 are the same. 7 and 8, 6 and 7, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3. Or no, 2 and 3. Or 3 is the same because I have Pittsburgh in first. That's the one that I needed to put up there, was Pittsburgh in first. All right, there, fixed it. Now, I didn't do any research for this video because I didn't really need to, much like the top 20 defensemen. I spent like an hour and a half on the top 20 defensemen last night. And it's like, people are like, well, this is crap. Oh, okay, I'm glad I spent over an hour on it. This is why I don't do list videos anymore. So people wondered, yeah, this is why I don't do list videos anymore. People are like, you should remember you did that. And it's like, yeah, I remember. And then I do it. And then I'm like, oh, that's why I stopped. That's right. Because it's one man's opinion. But back to this, I can definitely see more movement taking place than what we're seeing. So where's the blind spot for all of us? I don't think we have one with Vancouver. I can agree with that. Arizona as well. I think this is a season where Arizona's going to take a step forward, but not a step into the playoffs. Edmonton absolutely can get back in the playoffs. All they need is Talbot to come back and prove that he's still a starter, or Koskinen to show that he can push him. The Flames, yeah, they can get back in the playoffs. I have them at fourth. Channel has them at fifth. I have them outside the playoffs. I have 5 teams in the Central making it. And because of the way that the poll was set up, I'll just assume that 4 in each division make it, according to the channel. But either way, it's going to be close. Anaheim could absolutely stay at or near the top. No reason they can't. The Kings could end up being one of those teams that we all regret later, because adding Kovalchuk makes them a sexy pick to finish third. But it is an aging team, and I could see them having a step back this year. Vegas, of course, we're all taking them to fall out of first, but Vegas could prove us all wrong again for Vegas reasons. And San Jose, you just never know. So that's just the Pacific Division. But there's the predictions. The numbers are where the teams finished last season. And again, if you guys notice, they're very, very similar. Because again, we don't go way out. And I know there's Buffalo fans who are going to say, well, we wouldn't vote that way right now. Aha. There were people asking in the last few days, where can we vote? Where can we vote? Where can we vote? There is a place we can vote. and it will be in the description for this video underneath. So if you don't like these standings, if you think, well, I would vote differently right now than I voted originally, you're in luck. These are the channel's predictions before I started my previews. So once I started my previews, this was locked down anyways. Even if the poll hadn't been compromised in some way and we had to shut it off, this was going to get to be the cutoff anyways. And so a new poll exists, which you guys can vote in and decide who you like to finish and which teams you're looking at on this board and saying, you know, I think those teams are really low. So you guys have the say. Let me know by voting in that where things are wrong. And again, I really didn't. You know what's funny is I really wasn't all that crazy with my predictions. I wanted to be. There's part of me that say, you know what, Shannon, you should take Arizona to make the playoffs. Take Carolina to make the playoffs. Take Montreal to get back in the playoffs. Go crazy with this. And odds are, a year from now, I could look back and gone, see, some of the teams that I said would go back in the playoffs, they got back in the playoffs. But it is so hard to project that out, and it's hard when you're looking at a league where the season just finished a couple months ago, and it feels like just yesterday we're playing regular season games for these teams. It is hard to look and go, okay, now it's going to be completely different next year. Because it doesn't look like it should be, and yet it will be. But there you go. The channel's predictions, my predictions. I put mine in where they're different. I really differed from the channel with the Metro, but just one spot each. Just one spot here. This one was a little different. I have Anaheim lower than Calgary and Edmonton. This one I have Montreal and Buffalo switched with where the league, where the channel has them. And the difference between the channel vote and mine, I'm not going to change my predictions going into the season. I'm going to leave them as they are. And if they're completely wrong, they're completely wrong. Florida being third over Boston, Toronto being number one over Tampa. Those are just feelings I had looking at the rosters and looking at where the teams are, what they've added, what they've lost, that kind of thing. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and vote. Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And don't be surprised if I go ahead and based on the fact that I've done these positional videos and people are all arguing with me, then fine. We'll go ahead and have votes on that too. So Lewis, when you see this, get at me either on Discord or via Facebook, and maybe we'll iron out some details on how we'll do that. So there you go. I am nothing if not diplomatic about all of this. My opinion is not set in stone. You look at my top 10 defenseman video from last year compared to top 20 from this year, and yeah, it's totally different because, again, it changes from year to year. But there you go. My thoughts and my feelings on the matter. Let me know yours. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.